Right. I think what I want to work next before diving in. Should I dive into these new? You know what? I'll go ahead. Is there any more clues here? So, after a quick test figured out notable, after some time they returned with new research was a photo of Carl's generation taken in the mid of the 1970s, as well as some papers and mail from his office. They then said they had a bit more to share after nine more blood relatives. Okay. Keep working on this. Let's go through each of these ones. Campaign mailer. Vote for Stephanie Jones for City Council, better for Butler County. What? Stephanie Jones. This was buried on the ton of other mail that Carl left in his inbox. It had a handwritten note attached that seemed personal. Pregnant? Stephanie Jones. Candidate for local office Stephanie Jones. On the back is an excerpt from a newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but in her words, he was still full of love. And now, 22 years later, with a baby of her own due around Christmas, her message for voters is simply, love is our future. The handwritten note says, Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflicts spread to the next generation. Fuck, what does this mean? Who's Stephanie Jones? How is she related? Who the bloody hell is CM Carl Cinnamon? Is it Cinnamon? Support Stephanie, pregnant from this guy. We don't know who he is. Stephanie. I don't see eye to eye when the candy company. If you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting. Oh boy. So this is more about Carl. Carl, I don't know, we just see to eye, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie. CM. Growing up in an unconventional family. Her words were still full of love. Alright. Stephanie Jones. Newspaper article about the contest about her campaign. Can you search more? Okay. Da-da-da-da. There's Carl and Clark. It's so different. You learn from an election results that page that Stephanie Jones, a candidate for city council, won her campaign on election day about a month ago. You find no mention of the Roottrees in any articles about her. Stephanie has also a very bare bones website for her campaign. It is simply a picture of her campaign mailer, and underneath it says, be sure to read the full article in the Butler County Times. Butler County Times. Stephanie Jones. Ooh, okay. Most recent mention of Stephanie Jones is a small report detailing the election results. Won her election. You find full version of the newspaper clipping on the back of the campaign mailer. While most of it is unimportant, you do find the following. Stephanie Jones, born Stephanie Landon, until her marriage to local business owner Brian Jones, has lived in Butler County her whole life. Love it. Stephanie grew up in a home without a father. With my mother and her partner, I essentially had an entire female influence. Mother and partner. Whoa! Though she's distant, this distant cousin of the Roottrees, her mother Caroline, a local artist who has appeared on the front page of the Boulder County Times in the past, has often come out opposed to the corporation policies regarding deforestation of indigenous trees to expand their maple farms. Unlike my mother, I'm not a fighter. I want to bring the world, blah blah blah. She is a distant cousin, her mother Caroline, local artist. Opposed to corporation policies, okay. So Caroline. Butler. Caroline. There are a lot of people in Caroline that have been reported over the years. Perhaps you need to refine your search. Nothing relevant. Stephanie. London. Give me info about Caroline. She's appeared in a long freaking long. It says it appeared at the front page, man. She probably has like a artistic name. Come on. Alright, so oh wow. Caroline, the Butler County Times. It's annoying. Anything else from here? Carl, Roottree, President. CM talk. No. Who the bloody hell is CM? God damn it. Right, let's keep going. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water damage picture of the free spirits out the frame, this fell out too. What? Reading on the back of the photo is couldn't make the reunion, wishing you well from Paris, Gwing and the boys. So this is Gwing? In the boys? Has a note attached from your employer. Oh, okay. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water damaged picture of the free spirits out of the frame, this fell out too. Oh, okay. The free spirits. It's that picture with the generation of the free spirits. Reading on the back of the photo is couldn't make the reunion. Wishing you well from Paris. Gwing and the boys. So her sons. Gwing has sons. 2 sons. Or 2 children, we don't know yet. Wait. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of like, yeah. Just gonna put that in there. Whoa. Shiva candle. The photo was tucked inside an envelope. Wait. We need to take notes about that other picture we took. Yeah, this one. Okay. We make the reunion. Let's make a highlight at Gwen. Okay, we'll figure that out later. You! This photo was tucked inside an envelope with a letter beneath a candle in the corner of his office. That letter says, "To Carl and Brenda. Uh, I'm sorry that you were unable to attend the funeral. It's traditional to have it as soon as possible. And Ernie, more than anyone else on Earth, knew how busy your job can be. I've enclosed a Shiva candle, identical to ours, if you'd like to pay your respects, though it's not expected for those outside of the faith to do so." To Carl and Brenda. Ernie was a man full of love, not only for his family, but his family legacy. He had an immense amount of pride for the work you three did together, as well as how Carl has carried on for him after taking over. Carl took over Ernie. Who's this? Much love, Debbie. As for myself, it is impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though we caught it too late for him to get on the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our wildest expectations. It went unsaid at the time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced the trust, and that it was no coincidence that it happened shortly after your visit, Brenda. Up until the end, Ernie and I had to stay strong, especially for Nicole's sake. We could never have done that without the two of you fighting for us. Much love, Debbie. Oh, Nicole. It's an envelope with a letter. An envelope. In, I've enclosed a Shiva candle, identical to ours. So now it's Debbie and Nicole, who was married to Ernie, I'm assuming. Who the hell is Ernie? Clancy Edward. Where would that be? Hold on a minute. Stop that thing from sounding. Jesus, this is Ernie, Nicole, Debbie. This is out of my league right now. If only I knew who Ernie is. I think I've heard that name before. Holy shit. They replicated the picture with what's it called? The Free Spirits. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Every 20 or so years, the Roottrees would hold a big reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is the one from the 70s, and Carl's The teenager in the middle. Alright. So this guy. Everyone here is old. Eli. Thank you. It's kind of damaged. Sorry about the water damage. A pipe burst in Carl's office. Cool, this is the one. On the back of the photo, in childish print writing, it says November. There are also a large number of cursive signatures. They include Bonnie, next President Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Caroline, Gwyneth, Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim Roottree, Carl Clark, Carl, and Eli M. Childish. Jeez, get ready for faces. There's Eli. And we know this is Carl. Childish. The only child is this guy, this girl here. So November. Is there someone named November? November Roottrie. Miracle Jr. I don't know who these guys are. Got a ton of pictures here now. Any other notable Roottrie that we need to find? Easy to find online. We're still missing things about Carl. Damn it. Why am I missing things about him? President. This nonsense. Yeah, I don't think you can search like that. All right, time to make deductions here. Get out of here. We do have notes about Lauren. We have so much here. Let's go here. We know this is Lauren. Roottree, but distant relative of the Roottree sisters, known for her book. Married name Lauren Rafferty. Inspiration from one of her brother Clancy's lectures of the Middle Ages. To be honest, is there someone named Clancy here? Was it? Yeah, Clancy Edward and Clancy Jr. So Clancy Edward. It'll be Clancy Jr. here. We'll see. We'll figure it out. She had the inspiration from one of her brother Clancy's lecture on the Middle Ages. Returned to court, new romance in court was the loss of her husband Jacob Rafferty. This guy. And that's her face. There we go. Give me notes. This left her to raise her son Clark alone. We know. Son Clark, who was a musician. He was the she was the granddaughter of Elias and Gwyneth on her father's side. So her father, Clancy Edward of Cinnamon. Granddaughter. Yeah. Father, grandfather. Her mother's family was called the Cozels, but she hardly ever mentions them. Sarah. Her father, who she always refers to as Pop, was the head lawyer of the Roottree Candy Company and helped write a legal document called Clansed Trust. Alright, so you're a lawyer. Whoa! Locked in everyone on the notable Roottrees list. Yay! Got a few optional pictures. Cool. Smith Nicole, Jacob Rafferty. Oh yeah, I picked the right Nicole. Nice. Rafferty Jacob, Kosel Sarah. Lovely. Thank you. Okay, so I get more clues after I finish this 18, but every 3 I'll get confirmation. That's very useful. Where were we? Notes. Kind of want to look document. Client's trust. Nothing relevant. The client's trust were mentioned many times in Business Watch. My results are from the 40s and 50s, occasionally more recent reference to scripting. It's clear that it allows the entire Roottree family to earn money based on the profits of the candy company. The first article you can find from 1943 mentions that the infallible legal aspects of it were designed by Clancy Edward Roottree to secure the future of his father's famous name. Might be able to find more details online. Alright. Let me search for his colons. Clancy Edward. Ah. Never mind. Clanset. Clanset Trust is a highly unusual corporate arrangement named after Clancy Edward Roottree, who was Elias's son and the Roottree Candy Company head lawyer at the time. Due to its unique nature, it is often brought up in online discussions about financial matters and inheritance as an oddity. Company mandates that a fixed percentage of its profits are split every quarter amongst bank accounts representing each direct relative of Elias and Gwyneth. An account is created for each blood relative at birth and first accessible when they reach 18. Oh. The actual numbers have never been fully disclosed to the public, but due to the ever-increasing success of the company and a significant amount of money, the Clancy Trust is known for being essentially impossible to get around due to many checks and balances written into it. Still, there have been a few situations in which family members have tried to forcibly remove another member from the trust. Most details online are pretty vague since the matters are handled internally. The only information you discover is from a university law school, which apparently had a guest lecturer talk about Roottrees versus RR. You also find mentions to the 5-piece guarantee, which... Whoa, what is this? So what is the 5-piece guarantee? Tend to ensure accounting isolation is somewhat baffling. The yearly salary of Roottree's president is always locked to the price of a single pack of 5 pieces. Guarantee went into effect. This was 25 cents a year. Now it's closer to $4. Combined with the class of trust, however, more sense. Elias wanted to ensure that only his direct relative could afford to be president. He knew that because their passive income was tied to the profits of the company, they would have a vested interest in keeping the company as profitable and successful as possible. Whether or not this was a smart and successful decision is widely debated both online and in person by economics enthusiasts of all levels of expertise. In regard to the class of trust, student that attended the lecture about it wrote the following on Legal Auditor's website. From what you can tell, RR attempted unsuccessfully to remove a fellow family member from the trust. It was said that RR attempted two arguments. First, the person in question was born out of wedlock. And second, they committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. Whoa. Still, due to the ironclad wording of the plans, it was impossible to remove any direct descendants of Elias Roottree without completely dissolving the trust. There's no additional information online. Who bloody hell is RR? Margolite. Either Robert or Ronald. Because bird out of wedlock? Maybe here? Or we still don't know what the hell is this? Why is this like this? This doesn't tell me much. Let's keep going here. Jacob. We have a picture of Jacob. Granddaughter of Elise. Mother family was called the Cosels. She hardly ever mentions them. Her father, she always referred to as Bob, had rarely a class at trust. It's clear from context that the Roottrees have internal shorthand names for the different generations of their family. Lauren uses them often. The Five Pieces, the first generation of children by Gwyneth and Elias. Lauren's father was in this generation. Here are the Five Pieces, right? The next generation, it's Lauren's generation. So this row here, all these bozos. Boom, 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 boom. There's one over here with the top secret thingy. And the Free Spirits, the generation after Lawrence. All these bunch of kids, including Clark, Carl, Jim. Who the hell are these guys? Miracle Third, actually. So Miracle Jr. is in this generation, okay. Including her son. We know it's Clark. Gwyn, who is on the notable Roottrees list. Yeah, we know Gwyn over here. It's her cousin. Yeah, first cousin. Gwyn, as an only child, complained of loneliness. I told her that being expected to watch after three younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it fell on deaf ears. During the summer, where I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot. Oh, I hope she would be the sister I never had, and that I'd do the same for her. Even tried to dye my hair blonde to fit in with the two of them. What a mess, but she just complained. To her, I was just like a lucky cousin. Alright, so, Margot. Oh, yeah, Margolite. It's the lady here. Okay, that matches. She gets to be in Startlet and tell tales of how she galvans around kissing Harrison Lane and Bill Will Williams. These names are not here, right? Yeah, okay. She's the first Roottree woman to be anything other than a housewife. And I am jealous. Really? And I am jealous, for not a single mother could I make my own way in this world. Clancy told me that everyone got quite heated. Brenda was furious none of his sons would take over as president. Who is Clancy? It's a brother, but who? That's what he gets for holding on to it so long. With architects, preachers, and lawyers. Lawyer. I'm gonna assume that he said that. Architects, preachers, lawyers. Nobody's got time for candy. So with the 5 pieces refusing to step up, it came down to us, the next gens. I'm not even sure Clancy would have wanted it, but he's the one who was volunteered. It ended up going to Sack, even though his surname doesn't match the candy. He's the firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. Sack. Firstborn. And this is tricky because we don't know if this is the daughter. Wilson. Jason or Steven? There you go. You basically have Mel and Mel. One is Zach Wilson and the other one's Zach Steven. This is the first one. No. We don't know those. Freaking hell. Wilson. Zach Wilson is the first one. We don't know if he gave birth to a woman. And there's a Jason and a Steven. Who's the husband? Jason or Steven? We need to know. We can't make we're making an assumption here thinking that he's the firstborn. He's the firstborn son of the firstborn of the 5-piece. Okay. Wait. Clancy. I'm assuming is the... She has 3 brothers. And I'm assuming it's following like the birth order. So, Clancy. Junior. Sack. President. Second. He's the one that was volunteered. Instead, it ended up going to Sack. Even though his surname doesn't match the candy, he's the firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. I asked Clancy if it ever came up to that. That a woman could take over. After all, Angie's older than Sack. And I'm the next oldest of us all. Counterback. Maybe they wanted it to go to the only member of the family who looks like samples the product. Angie's. Angelica. Morden. This has the Roottree name in it. Zach Wilson. Morden. What? Duh, who's Angie? Her last name is Morden. There's a lot of Mordens here. Oh my god. There's also Zachariah Morden. Oh. Whoa, wait a second. Zach. It's more likely this guy. Could go to Angie because she's older than Zach. God damn it. Angelica and Zach. We're making assumptions here, but theirs are stronger. Right? Oh, President. Second. Angie, we don't know about you. You're going back to unknown occupation. This makes more sense. The Morden and Gwendolyn. They had a daughter who's older than her brother, but he's the firstborn son of the firstborn. Wow, just smoking good stuff here. Sam, an obscure relative was to be included in family gatherings. Gwyneth had been pushing to include Sam for quite some time. Is this Sam? We still don't know what the hell is going on with Sam. An obscure relative. Granny had sisters. Her granny. And Granddad had a brother or two. Angie summoned all the next gens to a secret meeting in Zach's office. Gwen's in Paris, but the rest of us, including Miracle's boys, spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. These are the next gens. Miracle's boys, the three brothers, Lauren and three brothers. After all, Granny had sister, Granda, Angie, summoned on the next gens to a secret meeting in Zach's office. Gwen's in Paris, but the rest of us, including Miracle's boys, spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. I didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding. Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year at the reception. When I asked who Sam was, Pop just shushed me and said it was complicated. Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands, Easy and John, when he used to drive past the old Anderson farm on his way to work. Upon hearing that, Zach checked the records and managed to confirm all three are on the books. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother, even chimed in. What the fuck? Hold on a minute. Is this Sam? Uncle Junior. Uncle Junior's wedding. This is her uncle. This is her pop. Uncle, Aunt Margot, and Uncle Miracle. Uncle Junior's wedding. Patsy. Fucking hell. Is it Patricia Jones or Patricia Christensen? Sam Cattrall. Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands. John. Who is John? How many Johns are there? There's no John here. E.C. Eloise. Fuck me. Upon hearing that, Sack checked the records, managed the book. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother. His youngest. So, Miracle Roottree. Eli. Elias Miracle. And there is another Eli. Elias C. But where to go? We don't know. One of her brothers is Eli as well. Clark's getting married, and in my opinion, far too young. He's barely 18 for God's sake, and Danielle isn't much older. Okay. Danielle. Franks. Clark's getting married. Danielle's well, the only one who has any discipline is Carl. Let's pick up Pop forced Clancy to send him. There we go. Pop forced Clancy to send Carl into the academy. Pop seems to have gotten over it because Edward. Ooh. Carl's getting his range for his generation. What else we group of kids with more money? They're all part of a musician. Dance around as the only one. Maybe I'm just kidding up, but our juniors were never so bad. My brothers all seem to pursue paths of knowledge, and the most rebellious thing any of us ever did was bring home someone who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Hey, Pop seems to have gotten over it because Edward is set to take over his department once he retires. Edward got over it for marrying probably a black person. Edward. November. This doesn't make sense, no. Oh, wait. Rafferty. Re-release as X marked the spot. Oh my god, fiction. According to the back of the book, this is a buried treasure by Lauren Roottree, and from the Order of the Court series. It also says, keep an eye out for Lawrence Roottree next book, Revisited the Diary 10 years later. Ooh, Scandal.txt. Oh, there is. Oh my god. This was a version of our Rootree's diary released in 1975. Unlike the original diary, contains no pictures, but has many new passages that reflect on her thoughts 10 years later. One major event happened between releases that changed Lauren's outlook on certain subjects: the death of Elias. A summary of the fallout has been added to your notes, as well as some other select pages. These are 5 stuff, bro. Where were we? Sack's not a bad. Well, yeah, the first published book. Sack's not a bad president after all, and his sister seems to be doing a good job raising her twins. Sack, president, his sister, raising her twins. What are the twins' names? These two. They are the twins, okay. Gwen is Gwen, but at least she came out of the divorce with her head held high. Yeah, we know Gwen divorced. President after all, let's be doing a good job. Gwen is Gwen. She even told us she might come next year so we can meet her kids. But the free spirits in any other family, they'd all be even Clark. The free spirits. What is Clark doing now? Songwriter. There's no jingle writer here. Hmm. They post us in front of the camera with Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendoline. Oh, really? You didn't give us the name? Celebrate Eli Jr. design. So this guy is Eli Jr. Whoa, there we go. Oh, so for real, he was in advertising, not a songwriter anymore. Miracle Roottrees, a preacher, and Roottree Elias Jr., an architect. Franks Daniel.
You're listening to WRTG. It's time for your headlines. Once an hour, every hour, on the 45. It's a bizarre development to an already tragic tale. In the wake of the accident that took his life, some of Carl Roottree's belongings have apparently gone missing. Most notably, a framed photo of the Roottree family from the mid 1970s that Carl had on his office wall. We interviewed a local psychologist about who would do such a thing and why. For that article, search online for WRTD News. Again, that's WRTD.
Mm-hmm. Plane crash, the most recent honor. They also talk about a picture taken of Carl's of a plane crash and promise an interview online with a psychologist. During the interview, it's revealed that wasn't a breaking. Instead, someone with a key to the office took the picture after discovering the pipes burst due to the recent storm. This means was likely someone close to the family who was aware of the photo's history and wanted to save it. The psychologist, however, also goes on to post that the culprit had an alternate agenda, specifically because nobody in the family has come forward to say they have it in their possession. Comment below the article says, "Don't believe their lies. This is just another instance of the Roottree curse being a real, true thing. I bet you Carl was murdered and the picture had evidence on it." So long rambling conspiracy website, very small, very red text in the background says the Roottrees are cursed. Has been very recently updated with the following important update with Carl and Brenda and their girls that makes 5 new days. Not only that, but 3 of the 5 presidents of the Roottree company have died mysteriously. They say Guy's car was hit by a drunk driver in 82. Nobody was arrested. Ernie Madsen Jr. stepped down. Was he poisoned? This gotta be a coincidence. There's another entry that claims if you connect the dots in the pattern of the 5 pieces wrapper, it creates a Mayan ruby skull, a secret message meant to subliminally scare people away. The post before that has a link to a site that talks about how Earth has 4 corners simultaneous 4-day time cubes. The author of this site seems to agree. The fuck? An entry from a few months ago claims that the owner of the site received an email from ChrisRaff75Prodigy.us asking him to take down his site with fake proof that Ernie Madsen Jr. actually had a heart condition and wasn't poisoned. The owner claims that although the proof looks quite credible, he knows that the proofs were fake because he's an expert at creating fake evidence. First entries from 1996 had a blurry picture of Roottree Candy Company factory, seemingly taken by the website's daughter from behind a fence. Some tree says that Operation RT-29. Israel helicopter land February 96. Who this guy is? Sharon Triggers website also found out about the truth behind Spirit Cola. Wow. Multiplying the stock price by 666, then also multiply the current you at that same stock price. Then add those two numbers together, divide the entire total by the stock price. Finally subtract the current year, you'll always end up with 666 lol. Stupid. Angie and I both wanted to be in the photo since Merkel was in it, and the 3 of us were all about the same age. So this is Gwendolyn. Has to be the blonde, right? Because they were both blonde. The other one's not blonde. She says, this picture of a famous ring house. It's taken 1935. Celebrate the move to the new warehouse that Eli Jr. designed. It's here in the middle. Angie and I both wanted to be in the photo since Miracle was in it. And the three of us were all about the same age. We were told only the 5 pieces, which really didn't go over well, to say the least. Eventually, supposed to stop the tantrums, they posed us in front of the camera with Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. I found out years later that they never took a second photo. We don't have a picture of, so we don't know who that guy is. I'm gonna assume that's Sam. Keep checking the notes. Next generation, yeah. There's a bunch of notes here. I'm just gonna check it out. Look at this nonsense. Oh my god. Lawrence Sarah contains his live pictures. This is the next generation. Caption: an attempt to recapture the spirit of the 5 pieces photo with our generation. For all time's sake, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand all the way on the left, since to me he looked like Pop did in the old one. Eli. Oh. Hmm. So the Eli is this guy. They insisted the four of us stand together, and so we clumped in the middle and let everyone filter in behind and in front of us. The only one too good to make an appearance was Gwen. Bro. Who's Eli here? He looked like Pop, so this is Eli, the other Elias. And I'm gonna assume this is Clancy? No, these pictures are from here. These are the brothers. He's the smallest. He looks the oldest to me. He looks very much like this guy. And then Remy insists if we included Sam, even if we didn't want, none of us understood why including Sam. I also didn't think it fair Miracle made it in, since he's technically a 5 piece. I guess my inner child still holds a grudge after all that these years. they included miracle. That's her, right? It's Adder, we don't know it's her. So who's this? Sam. Bro, that goes here. Is this Sack? Hmm. So they have all this generation here. This. Who this lady is. It's so hard to identify. Black hair. I'm gonna say this is Angelica. Red hair. Or is this Sack? Whoa! Who did I figure it out? Oh, establishing roots. Locked into 5 pieces. Oh! I got Margalite, Gwendolyn, and Zakaria Morden. Yay! Also unlock the following optional entries. This little kid, this dude, and this one. Booyah! Oh, I'm getting a call.
So, you may have heard the news. Some of Carl's things have gone missing. That includes the pictures and mail I brought you earlier. I promise I didn't steal it. But I did borrow it. I'll return it once we're done. Let me deal with my family in the meantime. Oh, I guess that means I've officially confessed. I'm a Roottree.
Ha!
I assure you I have a reasonable explanation for the secrecy. I'm about to do something big the family doesn't approve of. If you could just wait a little bit longer, I'll tell you more. In person. I'll return after 15 more blood relatives.
Well. We don't know her occupation. Who the hell are you? The red-haired lady. Wait, I signed the red-haired lady somewhere? Why am I not getting this guy? Oh, because we know it's only males. Okay. It's giving me that tip? How come? See, this is a woman. Only... Oh, we don't know yet. Okay, there we go. Male and female pictures here. Okay, we're getting a bunch of female pictures here. And since this guy has kind of like reddish hair, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna call you a housewife too. Sorry, The boys. I'm making a lot of assumptions here. No, wait. Fucking hell. Where is that? Yeah, okay, yeah. Lauren. Also, I didn't think if Miracle made it since he's technically a 5-piece. I guess my inner Chelsea holds a grudge. The only information you discover is from a university law school. I had a guest lecture about the Roottrees versus RR. Born out of wedlock. They committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. That's rough. Carl. Wow. The free spirits. Every 20 or so years, Roottrees an old reunion. There's one from the 70s. Carl's the teenager in the middle. Okay. This guy. Sorry about the water damage. Papers in the Carl's office. On the back of the photo show, this print says November. Large number of cursive signatures. Bonnie. Guy Hudson. Ernie Jr. Wait. Shit, hold on. Whoa, they're all here. It's kind of rough to get this. We can start with this guy. We know who he is. Carl. It's not a second picture for him. Interesting. Eli. Both blonde. You look like a... What is this? Are you like a plumber or what? Nah. Bonnie, Guy Hudson, Caroline, Gwyneth M, Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., James Roottree, Clark, Carl, and Eli M. Eli M. Of course, we have Clark and Carl. That doesn't make any sense. Clark and Carl. They consider Miracle. This is Miracle Jr. in that generation because like they're the same age, maybe. Jim. Right here. I don't really have a picture of him. You can figure that out. Has a mustache or the probably could be this guy, right? Let's put him here. There we go. This pretty face. What other names? Car called Eli M. Those are there, yeah. This is a freaking mystery, man. Who's this girl? Is it a girl or? We don't know who gave birth here. This is not good right now. November and all these names here. I think good. Okay, who's the second? Ernie Madsen Jr. stepped down. Ernie Madsen? These guys are Mordens. Nothing is so clear here, so I'm just gonna get more clues. More confusion next time they return. Okay. Nothing new. What? Wait, the new pirate. Oh, these are the new stuff. Okay, new diary opens with an explosive incident that happened in the decade between the release and re-release of Lauren's diary. Elias Roottree had died, and during the reading of his will, there was an audible gasp when a certain name was read aloud. Samantha Roottree, although Sam and her children were not meant to receive monetary inheritance. He had a stipulation that she retained the rights to run the farm and decisions. So Sam is Samantha. I don't even know where to put this. Let's put it in Lauren, her diaries. None of the 5 pieces were surprised, but it was quite a shock to everyone else, including Sam. She had been told her parents died. Apparently, Sam was illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen. Patricia, the daughter of a local steel mogul, and Eli Jr. harbored a secret romance at age 16. She became pregnant, and after birth, her father refused to let her see Eli Jr. ever again. Her baby Samantha was sent to the Roottrees. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand known as EC. Older man and sent away. That was the end of that almost. None of the next gens had ever met or heard of Patricia until she unexpectedly reappeared, now going by Patsy. After Patsy's husband died, she reunited with Eli Jr. They finally married in their 50s. Lauren mentioned the wedding in her first diary, without knowing Patsy's history. Eli Jr. had never taken another lover, although in a rather romantic way appreciated this. When Patsy and Eli Jr. finally married, Elias decided Sam should have been a Rootree in the first place. Even though she was not part of the clan's trust, he wanted to include her in the family affairs. That was what led to Lauren's initial entitled Sam. Additional notes, content from the 10-year anniversary re-release of Lauren's diary is a companion piece to the entry about Sam. Clearly, I did not know true family history when I wrote this. I didn't know Sam was a Rootree. All my doubts were ill-founded. She's a fine woman, but had she the chance to grow up with us, Sam might have been the sister figure Gwyn never was. Mm-hmm. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her. And her children. Who's Ernie? Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her. Her children seem eager to help the family with their own ways. Ernie Jr. has been learning the day-to-day from Zach. It's been a long, long time since any real Roottree was as excited and interested in the actual candy as Ernie. As a bonus, Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and her adopted grandfather. What I'm most ashamed of is not figuring it all out myself. Sam's a spitting image of Patsy, with her jet black hair and green eyes. She doesn't have the thick glasses Patsy did, of course. Whoa. Not figuring it all out myself. Spitting image of Patsy with her jet black hair and green eyes. She doesn't have the thick glasses Patsy did, of course, but I guess that skips a generation. Her children have that covered. Okay, Sam's Patsy will have that glasses. It's hard to explain the look on Pop's face when they read that the foreign operation will pass to Samantha Roottree for as long as she was willing. I got flashbacks to when Zach was made president. Mother reframed it a bit to calm him down. Sam wouldn't receive any candy money after all, and was essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants for eternity. Pop warned us away from the farm for years. I never met EC in person, but Pop once referred to him as confirmed bachelor, and I suspect that's why he kept us from there. Sam had to grow up in a house with him and his roommate, Mr. Miller. I'm not sure Sam will ever forgive Uncle Junior or Patsy for abandoning her to that life. If I were her, I might have forgiven them neither. But even so, she seems to blame more than just the two of them. She has no problems with us next gens, but she has a palpable hatred for the Five Pieces and Elias and Gwyneth. Whoa, there's a lot coming up here. Additional notes. Oh my god. Release. It's a companion piece to the entry about her son Clark. Reading this, you get deja vu as I write this addendum. Clark's gotten married again. Wow. No Roottree has ever remarried. Sure, I lost Jacob and Gwen divorced Wild Bill. Divorced Wild Bill just before she had her second. Not even I can blame her for that. I've seen that. I've seen what he gets up to in Starlet. But neither of us taking a second husband. With the way the world is moving, I guess it was inevitable someone in the family will remarry. I just wish it wasn't my son. I can only wonder if Clark's apparent disrespect for marriage is due to the lack of a real father. I did what I could, and Lord knows Eli C. stepped up and helped me. More that I can say for Clancy and Edward. Eli C practically raised Clark and Jim and as brothers whenever he could. Yes. Eli's marriage seems fine, and Jim's marriage seems solid as rock, pun intended. So who knows what causes these things? I suspect that he's marrying Jane to keep her from running out on the band. Without her, he'd be the third wheel, and I imagine they wouldn't last long as a trio. But still, I don't think a marriage on such a shaking foundation like that can last. And Lord knows I was right last time. Oh my god, there's more. It's a patron's anniversary. Companion piece to any specific entry, but addresses feedback. Biggest complaint I got after polishing my diary was how many similar names there are. And I get it. There are 4 Eli's for Pete's sake. But that's how it is. Someone would say I saw Eli in town and I wouldn't know which one they meant. My brother, my uncle, my cousin. That's why they become Uncle Junior, Miracles Eli, and Eli C. Our family's name were always unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the names of each generation to honor those in the last. His father and Grandma Gwynette's father were named Edward and Clancy. So now you see where my pop's name came from. One thing that's always been consistent in our family is that anytime someone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son. That goes for Miracle, Eli, and even Clancy. This is a bigger thing. With the women, however, it all goes out the window. I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Caroline, who was Elias's mother. Get all mixed up as the generations went on. I guess that's cause there's no female equivalent of Junior. So if you're reading my diary and confused, you're not alone. Even the government had problems. I remember once receiving a certified mail for a Edward Clancy Roottree. I had to break the news they got my father's name backward. Another re-release, not a companion. It is not a companion piece of any specific entry, but rather fun bonus. Apparently, this is the first thing she could find that she ever wrote. She knows it was for a school assignment about anger. She believes based on the teacher's name she must have been in the 3rd grade. She doesn't exactly remember the events spelled out there, but she does remember getting in trouble. Get angry with having a new girl who I do not like. She was dirty and didn't have a pretty dress. Me and Pop walked home in town and she hugged them. When I told her he was my Pop, she pushed me. I got angry and yelled at her, and Pop said to treat her nice. Then she said, "Your Pop is my dad." She screamed it loud in my ear. She was lying to me, and lying is not a nice thing, so I pushed her too. Then I got in trouble. Then Pop took her away. He told me, "Don't worry, I'm glad she's gone." Whoa, what does that mean? Well, we got so much here. Let's go. Whoa. Samantha Rudolph examined her children were not meant to receive monetary inheritance. He had a stipulation. Retain the rights to the farm. Elias Jr., Patricia Christensen. Jet black hair. Patricia, daughter of a local steel mogul, and Eli Jr. harbored a secret romance at age 16. She became pregnant after the birth. Her father refused to let her see Eli Jr. ever again. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand known as EC. Patricia was married off to a much older man and sent away. Patricia actually reappeared now going by Patsy. She married Eli Jr. and they finally married in their 50s. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her. It's the only Ernie. Ernest Madsen. Sam had to grow up in a house with him and his roommate, Mr. Miller. Do we even get a... Yeah, we don't get that. Mr. Miller. EC. We don't know who EC is. I don't think it minds. But she has a palpable hatred for the Five Pieces and Elias and Gwyneth. Gwyneth, Elias, and the Five Pieces. Gwyn divorced Wild Bill just before she had her second. I'm assuming this here, but I'm just gonna leave it as Farmer Man. Gwyn Wild Bell. This is Wild Bell. Okay, I'm gonna have to look for Wild Bell. Starlet. It's a magazine that started with the colorization of film and went until around 1964. Generally, it was a tabloid with a focus on famous actors and actresses. It didn't much go into any other aspects of filmmaking or Hollywood news. Gwen. Hmm. Well, Bill Williams. Rumor is Wild Bill had multiple affairs, which left her heartbroken. Interview from her, where she was asked about her last name. She answered, "Power of a name is undeniable. My grandfather constantly preached the importance of family names and honoring them. My father decided to bless me with a famous name. There's nothing wrong with Cornwall, but Roottry has power." There we go. My husband seemingly goes by Wild Bill. It's an infamous name he repurposed for himself because he didn't have the benefit of being born with a famous one. But Wild combines with the alliteration of Williams is incredibly memorable. Although relocated to Paris, I know your readers love to keep up with my husband, so consider this a Starlet exclusive about both of us. While Bill and I have a child on the way, and we're sticking with Roottry for the last name, not Williams. Mm-hmm. We also plan to lean into alliteration on our family names for the next generation. Oh, Williams. Wait, never mind. Okay, let's just go Linus. There's no Williams, so it's just Cornwall. It's a lot of names. Could be Roland and Robert. Most famous name. The medicine's lifespan gossip about where being seen in public blondes mostly. Three specific patches stand out. The first mentions one of his first role was under his real name. Whoa! Wait. The first roles was under his real name, Walter Forsythe. The second is an interview, although doesn't mention her by name. You determine from context he's talking about Wind Roottree. And a plea to all the ladies I'm actually taking. Earlier they said he did a friend a favor. They were in a war movie and asked me to play a small part. Wouldn't you know it? The son of a bitch cut me from the picture. I'm just raving it wasn't his fault. Apparently the studio didn't want to pay for a star of my caliber. Got the last laugh. So I met someone. She spent most of the film crying. She was playing a soldier's wife. But even through the tears, she was incredible. I know I tend to have a reputation, but this one's true love. I only have eyes for her. The third is a rumor that his divorce from Gwen was due to multiple affairs, including one with another actress. An American reader on vacation in Paris claims to have overheard Wild Bill and Gwen arguing in public. She was holding a baby and visibly pregnant. Not long after, Gwen announced she was divorcing Wild Bill, and then also that she was pregnant again, giving these rumors more credibility. Walter Forsythe. Really? There's a Walter here? Yep. Apparently, yes. I don't get it. Oh. Because Cornwall is her father. Cornwall Linus. There's makes the Cornwall is less powerful than Roottree, so she took Roottree, and she married Forsyth and gave Roottree to her sons. Got it. Got it, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it. Thick glasses. Palpable hatred for Elias, Gwyneth, and the Five Pieces. This is Sam. So Clark, divorce. Well, Bill had her second. Before she had her second, I did what I could. Lord knows. Eli C. Stepped up and helped. Stepped up and helped more than I can say for Clancy or Edward. Eli C. practically raised Clark and Jim as brothers whenever he could. Eli's marriage seems fine, and Jim's marriage seems solid as rock, pun intended. They don't talk about the spouse name. I suspect that he's marrying Jane to keep. Tamalaru is marrying Jane to keep her from running out of the band. They had a child. I saw Elaine in town. I wouldn't know which one they meant. My brother, my cousin, my uncle. Who's the uncle? Elias Jr., okay. That's why they became Uncle Jr., Eli C., and Miracles Eli. Got it, makes sense. It's all set. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using names of each generation to honor those in the last. His father and Grandma Gwyneth's father were named Edward and Clancy, so now you see where my pop's name came from. Clancy Edward. And you want sometimes a junior. You're always the firstborn son. That goes for Miracle, Eli, or even Clancy. Mm-hmm. It's all set, yeah? Or even Clancy. Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Caroline. Who was Elias's mother? Okay. Edward Clancy Roottree. Boy. But the thing here is that I don't have their occupation. I have very little data about that. I got these names right. They don't help though. He's in construction, this guy? Who you married? young daughter around same age right now. Hmm. They don't mention that name of that daughter. Tessa, Christina, November, Candy could be, for all we know. Whoa, where's his picture? Yeah, I forgot about that. Can probably. There we go. There was that campaign. Uh-oh. No. They had two childs. Katrina, his youngest. Jessica. Rather than just a kid. Okay. What do you get? Farmer. Angelica, housewife, okay. Right. You're also a student, man. You're a kid. Wait, is that picture from here? Yeah, that's her. So, what was her second marriage here? No. Jim. What was it? Jim and Diamond. Diamond and I were in C&J with my cousin and his ex. Clark never knew his father, so our grandpa said that he spent time with my dad and me. As a result, Clark and I grew up like brothers. Diamond and Jane, on the other hand, are actually sisters. Whoa, this is Jane. Yep. When Diamond walked in on Clark in bed with her youngest sister, everything exploded. No more family band. Could it be this? Mm-mm. I'm making assumptions here. The LaRue sisters. Lucky LaRue's. The youngest, Kim, is about to step into a prominent role in Broadway, taking over one of the children in Oliver. Dude, could it be like that? They were Mary Jane. They walked in on him with their youngest, which is Kim. That'd be sick. Good family drama. I'm just making sure. Madsen. Nothing. Ernest Jr. Madsen. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go to this. What else is here? Modern rights. Three allies. Secret. Queens in Paris. The rest including Miracle's boys spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. Sam's at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. At the reception, when I asked who Sam was, Pop shushed me and said it was complicated. The farmhouse AC and John, when he used to drive past the old Anderson farm on his way to work. Anderson. Is it a relevant last name here? No. All three are on the books. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother, even chimed in. Apparently, when he was riding his mini bike alongside the farm a few weeks ago, Sam gave him some old tools and taught him how to make the bike's engine faster. None of us think that proper for a multitude of reasons, but Eli certainly seems thrilled. At the end of the day, nothing explains why an outsider has goes into family first, especially one who works on the farm for all the places. Whatever happened to blood thicker than syrup? He rides a bike. Police officer? I don't think so. It's more like a mechanic. It's definitely a mechanic. Hmm. We figured out who he was. Maybe because he was a fat one. Right. This has so many clues. Jim and Diamond. Lead singer, Diamond. Printing Wolf. The name of the official fan club for Jim and Diamond. You'll find a forum post called Cool Things You Got in the Mail on a random forum about video games. Jim and Diamond still send out a Christmas card every year to Diamond Dazzlers. It's accompanied by some pictures, as well as some history about the fan club. Apparently, even though it's no longer available to join, Jim and Diamond still honor it themselves personally. There's a fierce debate in the subsequent posts about whether that's cool or pathetic. Almost a picture of Christmas card from over the years, only one is relevant. The card from 1996 with pictures of Jim and Diamond's young son Wolf. And so it's about his daughter's band, the Flusses. The Flussies is a band, so I'll search. Oh, it's an MP3. All female punk band. Are an all-female punk band operating on New York. They're mentioned in passing on an online review from earlier this year. Apparently, they were the opening act for the band. The reviewer actually came to see. The reviewer writes that she normally doesn't review the opening act, but this one was unusual, and not because of the music. She described it as loud, fast, and repetitive, but not in a good way. The trio was extremely cagey about their identities. The reviewer asked the venue who they were, and she was told they were rumored to be the children of other famous musicians and didn't want that to be why they become popular. The reviewer also mentioned that for an underground and unknown band with absolutely no following, their equipment was all extremely expensive, and not only were they selling CDs, but they only cost $1. Oh, we were losing a fortune. The reviewer said, although she bought a copy, she would be unlikely to ever listen to any of it again, except maybe Beef Baby, the 7th track. There is no picture of the Flossies performing live, but the cover from the CD they were selling, Conquistador, has been added to your evidence. So, Beef Baby. Actually find anything else about it anywhere with a name. It's hard to speculate the subject matter. Could be a euphemism or about a newborn cow. Perhaps the Flossies are holding a grudge against its holder. Piques your curiosity if you only had time to research to look into it further. Nothing. Nothing. Candy, Nikki, Nina. picture of a Christmas card from Jing and Diamond to their fan club, 1996, 2 years ago. The description said it included a picture of his son Wolf listening to his parents' latest music. Yeah, they married. His son is Wolf. The picture we just took. And Candy. Could be the other way. Young son. There we go. LaRue Jane. LaRue Kim. There we go. He's a mechanic, I knew it. Booyah. So Morden Gwendolyn and Caroline Morden. I'm assuming these guys didn't get their names from her mother. Magazine Team Blast. Oh, I didn't look for that. Team Blast display hosted many Roottrees advertisements over the years for many other products, including 5 pieces. They flood the results, one of the most already in your evidence. Oh my god. Nothing relevant. Ah, elderberry. Why is there? No, what's her name? Okay. Rhino Roottree. Let's see. On the cover of Team Blast, she was 16 and did an interview. You had to cover an article to your evidence. There we go. What else? No. Carly. Candy. Riley. Roottrees is just many ads for both Candy and Root. Clothes in the Team Blast. This search engine isn't the best, so your results are flooded with page after page of nearly identical advertising. Some ads specifically mention that Rhina appeared once on the cover of Team Blast. Riley and Rose, on the other hand, seem to be mentioned by name less than their older sister. Candy. All right. See if two Team Blast can tell you about the trouble new gossip. Also, how to know if he's interested when a treat to the set of a new movie. Right now, Sweet 16. Candy Girl gets serious about her inspiration and aspirations. Here's an article by Rhino Roottree from 1994. This issue also mentions TMS and Brother Trouble. Interview Rhino talks about her inspiration. One important thing I learned from an early age is that dreams are not outside of our grasp. My grandpa was a college professor. Whoa. Who taught lectures about history. He always told me that history was full of people from famous families who wasted their fame and fortune by taking it for granted. Instead, he told me I should go out and use my name to accomplish something. I think I may have practiced that lecture a lot because I have other people in my family that have also made the Roottreee name famous for things besides candy. His older sister even wrote a book that some of my friends tell me they had to read in school. Yay, that's Lauren. I took his advice and now I work with my mom designing clothing. I help decide what colors and patterns I want to model, and she designs the clothes with a team of amazing men and women. Although my grandma passed away earlier this year, Grandma Laura tells me he was really proud of what we've managed to accomplish. Your grandpa, Laura. Professor. Clancy Jr., Roottree. Nope. Nice try. She married. Right, TMS. Who's this guy? Tommy appeared on the cover Team Blast a record 38 times, conquered 3 back-to-back months during the height of Brother Trouble. In the issues he was in on the cover, he was still mentioned quite often. You read every word of every article, and besides the fact that he was married to Raina, only one thing seems relevant. A gossip section from 1996, about 8 months before their marriage, is called Is Dating a Rootree? It says. At a recent autograph signing, TMS told the Team Blast reporter that he met a girl at a party in Malibu. Apparently, the cast of Brother Trouble gets together at Penelope's house once a year. And this time, TMS found love. Omega Hottie had this to say. She's incredible. She came to the party to meet me specifically, and I'm glad she did. She said she had a crush on me when she was younger. I told her I have a crush on her from her posters now. When our Team Blast reported asked who the lucky girl was, TMS refused to spell, but we did some digging. One of the creators of Brother Trouble, Ron, married Penelope, who played TMS's mom on the show. And get this, Ron is a distant relative of the Roottrees sisters. Oh, fuck, this is I'm breaking up here. So he said, when Team Blast reported asked who the lucky girl was, TMS refused to spell, but we did some digging. One of the creators of Brother Trouble, Ron, married Penelope. Penelope. Who played TMS's mom on the show. And get this, Ron is a distant relative of the Roottree sister. Alright, so we need to check more about this show. Sitcom about the two 16-year-old brothers, the same age, one adopted, played by Tommy Mark Sheridan and Dustin Christopher Baker. Their single mother, played by stand-up Penelope Tessa Green, often had to investigate her job as a magazine columnist. Missing two boys who were extremely competitive in sports, academics, and even romantic pursuit of their next-door neighbor, Roxy. The showrunner was Small Screen's director, Ron Roottree. Hey. It's a lot to search. The show had strong ratings through the entirety of season 1, rocketing both Sheridan and Baker to instant stardom, mostly amongst the teenage girl demographic. However, it was cancelled in 1991 midway through the second season due to significant drop-off ratings. Alright, let's look at this guy. And then all the other guys. DCB is a teenage fan. Since Sleeping Brother Trouble has appeared in a few straight-to VHS movies that adapt classic literature to a family audience with minor success. Jane Eyre, which reimagined Charlotte Bronte novel as a high school romance with a focus on skateboarding. He doesn't seem to be associated with the Roottrees. Okay. Mark's first creator roles, Thomas Sheridan, was in a soap opera called Time Marches Onward. His skyrocketed to popularity after his starring role at the sitcom Brother Trouble. In the Brother Trouble, he has often been on the cover of tabloids for his supposed drug use and more recently his relationship with Raina Roottrie. After a short engagement, they married in 1997 when she was only 19 and he was 23. Whoa, look at that. Thomas was 7 years old and still being credited as Thomas Sheridan at the time. According to research, the show has been in the air for 22 years and is set to focus on 3 large families that own different ranches in the same town in Texas. Carson, 53 episodes before his character on the way to camp, terrible whitewater rafting accident. Oh. After a 6-year absence, Carson returned with partial amnesia. He recalled safe from the rebel. Drugs, what the hell? Eventually found his way on by holding the dressing experience or reading on the tag of his jacket. Well, During the second run, Carson was played by an actor other than Tommy McSheridan. Discrepancy was explained by covering his face in bandages and claiming that his work in the silver mines left him permanently disfigured and caused his voice to sound completely different. Happened in Mr. Hostage situation in local hospital. Bandages were removed. The actor played Carson for an additional 3 years, appearing in over 500 episodes. He was then killed permanently this time while saving his younger sister from drowning in whitewater rafting, happening at the same river that his initial accident took place. Fascinating all this is, none of it seems related to the Roottrees. Run. Mary Penelope. There we go. Sitcom. Dustin Baker. Penelope Tessa Green. Whoa, Joker Lantern. What is this? Laugh Jack. Tessa Green is a retired comedian. We need to know this. There's a result for the Laugh Lounge, a club in Reno that claims Penelope got her stand-up start and first did her famously raunchy breast milk cheese routine in the 80s before she was a TV star on Brother Trouble. The site claims she retired for the birth of her first child, but still makes yearly appearances for fundraisers. To more family-friendly material, you'll find a picture labeled Joke Lantern 1997, as well as a different picture labeled Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets. Well, we can add it to evidence. It's probably could have put this as a son. She's a comedian, that's what we know. It's good. Then we got Roottree, small screen director, and the head of RR. Whoa! We found RR. He directed episodes of a few other shows before show running and creating a one-season hit. She was canceled partway through season 2. Where are you coming from, bro? Interesting. Ron Roottree, RR Productions. I see. Right. Search this guy. Production company responsible for you find a comment of a Usenet board stating that Brother Trouble ended up being an ironic name, considering the rumors about RR Productions, Ron and Robbie Roottree. Whoa. There are 2 RRs. Ron and Robbie. Information about Robbie. In a comment thread on a message board about television cliches, you find a thread called "Why Was Brother Trouble Cancelled?" I think it's because the writing went really downhill in season 2. They actually had an episode where Roxy was addicted to sniffing markers. Another person, maybe it's due to the rumor about Robbie Roottree in Silver Screen magazine. There is a link to some kind of article, but it appears to be that. Please give me something. Ah. Thank you. Rated certified for production, other filmmaking. It ran from 1983. 1993 was brought by a bigger, more organized magazine a few years ago. The website now redirects to the new magazine. Makes this up to have any relevance to your case. Mm-hmm. Claims that self-taught. Small Rumors article from 1990 claims that self-taught television screenwriter Robbie Roottree was allegedly tried and convicted under the name Robert in a French court of law. Ron and Robert. It seems he, again allegedly, embezzled from the company RR Productions to fuel a gambling habit that left him hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. He then fled to Paris, where he grew up, and then Silver Screen continues to insist this is all very much allegedly, assaulted an officer who came to question him. Article author says they were unable to get a statement from French authorities, but received information from an anonymous source and were able to confirm through public record that there was a trial involving a Robert Roottree around the time that Brother Trouble was cancelled. Don't blame nepotism, he gets results. After finding some small screen success, first as the director for many soap operas episodes, stepping in as a showrunner to turn around a few struggling productions, Ron has decided to start his own television production company. Ron was born in the US but grew up in Paris, with his once famous mother and his brother Robbie. Hey, yeah, Ron and Robert. He gobbled up American cinema whenever he could, and when he was old enough, returned to Hollywood to attend film school. Now for your unusual shots, particularly when it comes to comedy. Those he's worked with have gone on record as saying he's an attentive director who can work with actors who make sure the timing of a joke lands perfectly. Pitch new shows to major television studios as soon as 1986. Until then, he plans to find the right project. He has occasionally called upon his younger brother for script punch-ups and has thought about bringing him into the fold. So what he's doing right now? Gwen. Yeah, watching one of his smaller charity sets. Joker Lantern. You found this on a website about a comedy club called the Laugh Lounge. It's a photo titled Joker Lantern. It was taken during one of the Penelope Terrace's fundraisers. This is easy then. Penelope. Wait, they had two children. What the fuck? Jack. They're a director? Yes. Ching ching. Oh, yes. Laura Carlson, Penelope. James Morden. The photo. The photo. Booyah! Awesome. Screenwriter. Who's the baby then? They don't have side photos, so it's two children. Jack. Something like a baby, student, secretary, professor, public secretary, principal, president, preacher, politics, pilot, nurse, musician, model, media mogul, mechanic, interior design, housewife, cashier, CEO, baby. Baby! It's not right. I have 3 here, supposedly, allegedly. TMS. Thomas sure didn't read it. Tommy Mark Sheridan, yeah. Same age. Yeah. Thomas Sheridan, that's okay. Who are these? That's that not about that. Yeah, let me check. This one here. Oh, had nothing. Carl and Brenda. Bernie. Debbie and Nicole. Ernie. To Carl and Brenda. Ernie died. So Debbie. Deborah Bean. And then Nicole Madsen. Yes. Wait. This tells it all. This has to be Deborah. Because she has a picture. And this is Nicole. Because this is her pic. She has a picture here. But this slot here doesn't have a picture, so I need to switch Ernie. I don't think they're talking about this Ernie. So yeah, let's switch Ernest Jr. and the other Madsen, the girl. Gwyneth. And I'm assuming this because they had the glasses. Two brothers with the glasses. And you were learning from Stack, so you from your third president. We don't know about you. You're probably a child. Student. There we go. Nice. Yay. Wait, that means there are some assumptions I'm not doing right here. For example, these guys. This is good. I made an assumption here. We don't know if it's a baby though. We're big assumption we're making. Comedy club called the Laugh Lounge. Joker Lantern 1997 was taken during one of Penelope Green's fundraiser. What's the name? The Laugh Lounge. Considers art for birth of her first child. Still makes yearly appearances for fundraisers. Joker Lantern. Child watching. So Joker Lantern 1997. It's definitely this guy Jack is kinda bigger now. Joker Lantern is definitely the baby. But with another name. To do more deductions. Let's go to evidences. What do we got here? I'm still wondering why this has so many stuff here. I don't know, we don't see eye to eye when it comes to Candy Company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity. Your daughters bring, don't let our conflicts spread to the next generation. Who is CM? No. CM. Carl. In this generation, CM. It's not Gwyneth. It's not Ernest Jr. Madsen, so it's not from here. Madsen. Stephanie Jones. Could it be this? Mm-mm. Oh, fuck. Too much deductions here. Yeah, so many clues. Has 10 clues here. Hmm. Full version newspaper clipping on the back. Stephanie Landon. Commercial local business owner. Brian Jones. Oh, fuck. There we go. I forgot about this completely. So this is something coming here. Born Stephanie Landon. Where do I have info? I'm gonna set here, Stephanie. Whoa, I'm seeing more stuff here that I forgot. Reorder notes. Stephanie Jones advises her newspaper article for the Borough Times campaign. Stephanie Jones sports Stephanie Landon. Oh, okay, this is. Second cousin. So it is not my cousin here. It is if you look at the brother of your grandpa. There we go. It makes sense here. I don't know the order. Second, maybe fourth. Who will be the third? This son of one of these guys. Hmm. So let's try to figure out Stephanie's stuff. And we need to search. Yeah, currently local artist, Maple Farms. How do I know Caroline? Stephanie Landon. That comes here. So it's gonna be more than. Yes. You find a cover story about local art installations, including one by Caroline Morden. There isn't much about Caroline as a person. This is mostly a listing of art in Butler County. She seems to get top billing. Accompanying the story, there's an image of Caroline standing beside a large metal sculpture of a mermaid. It is captioned Caroline standing next to her sculpture Atlantis Burden. This sculpture is one of many works featured in her upcoming book, Self-Portrait Art and the Beauty of Women. According to a quote further down, Atlantis' burden is meant to symbolize a society split by indecision over whether women should be equals or something to protect. The picture on the front page has been added to your evidence. Alright, first a search. Whoa, dedicated to Eloise and Stephanie. Caroline's art centerpiece, a series of full-color nude self-portraits at different ages, stretching from 25 to 30. They certainly have not been added to. They certainly have not been added to your evidence. In the intro, Caroline talks about influences. She was one of the youngest in her generation, and in her late teens, she felt betrayed when her sister Gwendolyn and cousin Bonnie gave up on dreams to settle for boring men. She especially dislikes her brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson, who she calls completely bogus. Their marriages led her to double down on her passions, art and environment. She even married a man who was the opposite of boring, which was an overcorrection. Consult. They affect the local environment and rules how she was not able to convince her father, Zack, to make changes to policy. That their marriage to Mark led to the most volatile moments in all negative, and that only good thing ever was a daughter. Leaving them all behind for good has pushed her to pursue her true love's art and the beauty of women. How the fuck does this work now? Atlantis' bird in this sculpture is one of many works featuring her upcoming books of portraying other beautiful women. Oh, okay. Currently standing next to her Atlantis bird. So her father is an artist. Caroline Morden. Okay. Stephanie Jones on the back is an excerpt from a newspaper article. Huh? Stephanie grew up in a home without a father. This is Stephanie. Politician. That's her, right? Yeah, that's her. Grew up in a home with a father, mother. With my mother and her partner, I essentially had an entire female influence. Distant cousins, her mother, Caroline, local art who was appearing in the front page, has come out opposing corporation policies. Stephanie, I've grown up in an unconventional family. Stephanie Landon, until her marriage to local business owner Brian Jones. Has lived in Butler County her whole life. Standing beside a large medal, caption, blah blah blah, dedicated to Eloise and Stephanie. Eloise. You don't have a last name. You do have your picture though. There you go. Mark Landon, Eloise, Jones Bryan, his picture. Booyah! And I got it right. Ernest Jr. was the fourth president, so there's someone in.
On the phone, I said I owed you an explanation, but I can't reveal everything. Not yet. I'm sure this all seems like deception for deception's sake, so I'll try to explain why. It's true, I'm working with lawyers, but not the candy company lawyers, my publisher's lawyers. I'm on the verge of releasing a book, and it's not kind to the Roottrees, especially Elias and the Five Pieces. The truth often isn't. But with the plane crash, the publisher is rightfully worried it'll look like I'm making things up to exploit a tragedy. So they're doing their due diligence. That's why you're here. To be sure there's enough evidence for an expert to unearth the whole story. If I tell you the whole story now, we can't prove that. I hope you understand. That said, I can say that the work you're doing is very personal to me. To my story, one spot on the tree is more important than the rest. You've likely noticed it. It's locked for now. I'll return one final time, after you fill it in. Also, there are fewer Roottrees left. In a sense, that makes it easier. Use process of elimination.
Okay.
It's also harder to verify when you're right. You'll need 4 blood relatives before they lock from here on out. I don't have any more evidence for you, but trust your intuition. If something has a high number, it's not a mistake.
Okay.
You're getting closer and closer to the truth. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Right. Doesn't look that good on this side, though. You need 4 to unlock. That's sick. What do we have here? Oh, they said they came. They call you here to report. The radio. WRTD. What else can we get from WRTD? No. Nothing else? Oh, there's more here? Sister Gwendolyn. Cousin Boney gave up on dreams to settle for boring men. Especially dislikes her brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson, who she goes completely bogus. Brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson. Ow. So Jason and Steven and Zach Time to search people. Dr. Stephen Wilson is a pediatrician who practices north of Pittsburgh. Although there are a lot of Stephen Wilsons and Dr. Wilsons, this one apparently found a way to gain the search results, as he pops to the top every time. His website claims that he's the pediatrician to the stars. The only evidence for this is that he apparently was a doctor to the Roottrees sisters. There's a picture of him on his website, as well as a picture of his 3 children. 311 look as though the photographer was holding them hostage. Regardless, the photos have been added to your evidence. There is also a quote that, although credited to his child Jason, you suspect might not be written by a 10-year-old. My dad is the best dad in the entire world, and he treats every patient with world-class care. He will treat your children like he would me, my big brother, and my sister. Jason. Love it. What is this? Dr. Stephen Wilson. Self-proclaimed pediatrician to the stars. The Wilson kids. Hope below picture security Jason. My dad's the best dad. Got him. Jason. Gem. You all have pictures, don't you? I'm assuming he is. Yeah, the doctor here. Not yet. I'm gonna assume you're a student in your college. Who the hell are you? Student too? Cousin Bonnie gave up on dreams to settle for boring men. Guy. President. You're the third one. Well, I'm assuming the order here. Bonnie could be the same as I'm assuming the order here. Environment. The opposite of worrying. She was an overcorrection. She was not able to convince her father's sack. Changes the policy. She's into her marriage and marriage also all negative. The only good thing ever was her daughter. Although credit is child Jason, just suspect. Yeah. Okay. Big brother or my sister. Your housewife? I don't know. Alright.